Thank you for joining us at Grateful Gratitude with LoLo and Lexi. We are practicing gratitude girls that strive every day to recognize and celebrate our blessings. We are a mother and daughter that practice gratitude every day and put God in the center of our life. The only way to live a blessed and happy life is to be grateful. May you feel God's love and blessing each and every day.
It is another episode of Grateful Gratitude with LoLo and Lexi, and today's topic is going to be how to stay grateful when things aren't going so well.
Yeah. Well, Mark, I think I've told you this story, and recently, probably in the last 3 to 4 weeks, I can't exactly remember the day, I got an email saying that I was no longer a preferred vendor for my largest client. And that particular client probably contributed 90% of my income to our...
Bit.
That was quite a bit. And they always say you shouldn't build on just one client, but this client was a awesome client, huge client, and I had to invest that much time in them. So unfortunately, when I got that, initially I felt like I was hit by a Mack truck. It was so unexpected, now the blue. I had to really stop and sit for a minute and say, wait a minute now. We need to be grateful for the things that we did have. And the things that I did have with that client was 6 years of orders. I had a nice paycheck for that amount of time. I met a lot of great people, and I really learned a lot and grew a lot by having that account. I just sat there silently and kind of thought, you know what? Maybe this is an end of a season, and maybe I'm going to be moving forward doing something else. And I just thought, no, I'm going to be thankful for what I did have, because I know that if this is ending, something bigger and better is coming. And it's not my place to know that. That's for whatever God's plan is for me. So, and it's really kind of a cute story, because when I told my husband that I had lost this client, his response was, hey, well, maybe God's trying to kick you in the butt and tell you to focus on grateful gratitude and not worry so much about the day-to-day stuff. And that was, it was kind of a realization for me.
You tell stories about Wes, and
Yeah.
Wes is your husband.
Yeah.
And I always thought I was pretty much the perfect husband.
Nobody comes close to my husband.
Yeah,
He's awesome.
evidently not.
Well, my husband's always been extremely supportive and very, very much gives me unconditional love. He doesn't judge me. And that's very, very difficult to find in a spouse, let alone a friend or anybody else, So I think I felt encouraged, because instead of him saying, hey, we're going to miss that money, or hey, what are you going to do for funding Grateful Gratitude? That wasn't his response. And as I went to bed that night, I just handed it all over to God and said, okay, you obviously have something for me. I don't know what it is, but I'm okay with it, and I don't have to control the situation. I'm going to say goodbye to those people, and in a year, if I want to do the RFP, I'll do it. And the amazing part to this is, for a week, I did nothing but just be grateful. I really did. I really focused on every time I might get a little anxious about that account being gone. I thought, no, I'm not gonna think of that. I'm gonna be positive. And it was funny how I had clients come out of the woodwork that I hadn't talked to in a couple years that all of a sudden wanted to place an order. And the Monday after this happened, I got an RFP for $60,000 or $65,000 that I had the opportunity to win that bid.
All right.
So by staying positive and being grateful for what I did have, I was rewarded, I felt.
Well, and not only that, but let's pretend that you weren't rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point in being bitter about it?
Right.
What's the point in being upset about it? There's nothing you can do about it now. All you can do is move on. So just even the raw common sense part of it, let alone the grateful gratitude portion of it.
Yeah.
It's the best way to handle it regardless.
Right.
And I think every negative situation, and I know it may be really hard. I'm going through this with my nephew right now. My nephew who's going through a breakup. Mm-hmm. And I told him, look, I know it may be hard for you to understand now. I fully understand that. But in the whole scheme of things, this is just a bump in the road.
Right, exactly.
And it can be impossible, in the midst of the situation, unless you are really good and unless you've listen to podcasts like this and are intentional about making sure that you don't go negative when there's so much to be negative about, it can be really hard to do. But it's the way you really should do it. So it makes it a whole lot easier for you. And if you have that faith that you're talking about, and you can take it out of your hands and put it in someone else's hands,
right,
it probably makes it a lot easier as well.
Well, I just feel like my peace is a daily thing now. Like, I'm not stressed. I'm really truly not worried about what is coming or how am I going to fill that void of that account. And I think when we look at things with gratitude and not look at the negativity of it, because we've all been through things in our life that really have brought us to a dark place because we became anxious instead of being grateful. And if we look back, we've always come through that, and we've always come through that with God's help and guidance, you know. And that, to me, I think I said this to you earlier, if I could just teach people how to give up control and trust in God and just say, God, I surrender, or whatever it needs to be, here, take Jesus, take the wheel type of thing, you know, people would really feel that peace in their heart and they would live a happier life. But I haven't mastered how to teach people that yet.
And you would think that should be something pretty simple for people to understand and to grasp. Even if they don't have faith, even if they're not religious, even if it's, you know, there's something in control of this universe.
Absolutely.
And it's not me.
Yeah, no, we're not. Well, I guess, you know, when you think about those trying times and you think about, you know, we're human. There's only so much we can do. You absolutely cannot control others. And the sooner that people realize that, or that I can help people realize that, I think the more at peace they'll be, and they'll realize that, hey, I'm living for me. I got to make myself right first, and then everything else will fall into place. And that's what I found. When I give it to God, and I'm thankful for the things that He gave me, even though this was a 6-year account, like I said, and a big account, He took me through that journey and that walk for a reason. And I'm just excited to see what's coming. And it doesn't mean I'm not going to have another setback tomorrow or even later today. But as long as I have faith in Him and I don't try to control the situation, everything's going to be awesome.
Well, and if you think about, I don't know where I saw this, but someone who is drowning in water and the lifeguard's trying to save them, the worst thing that person can do is try and control the situation.
Yeah, and struggle. And
the best thing they can do is, hey, just let the person save you. Right.
Just lay back, or whatever they do, you know, let them hook their arm around you and take you to shore.
Yeah.
Same thing with God. And I think this is more difficult for women, and maybe that's a whole nother topic, you know, women versus men on gratitude. But I think as a woman, you tend to control the situation more. You want to control your children. You want to control your husband, your whole life. You want to be the one in charge and be Superwoman. And that's what we need to let go of. So.
Amen.
All right. So wrapping up, I'll just tell you that we have a Facebook page, Grateful Gratitude. We have a blog, gratefulgratitude.net. We have Instagram, Grateful Gratitude 11, YouTube channel, Grateful Gratitude, and many thanks to you because you've helped us facilitate most of those.
Let me tell you something also on the Grateful Gratitude 11 on YouTube.
Yeah.
We started this week posting your blog entries.
Yes, we did.
And the 2 that are up there right now, and the third one's about to be up there, incredibly powerful.
Thank you. They're tough. It's tough, but thank you for bearing through those with me. Gosh,
I encourage anyone to take a listen to those.
I appreciate that. And I don't know, do you have a tease for the next thing you want to hear?
Well, I want to hear Lexi in here at some point.
Yeah. We'll see if Levi fell asleep and get her in here.
All right.
All right.
Until next time.